right. Hello and good morning. Hello and welcome to Lehigh Valley with Love podcast. We have a special morning edition. This is a lot of fun. I'm your host, George Wacker, and today we'll be talking about comedy, the cancer support community, Greater Lehigh Valley, and an upcoming comedy night on March 19th at the Hellertown Legion. First things first, thank you to our sponsors, Arts Quest, Molly's Irish Grill and Sports Pub in South Bethlehem, and of course, Michael Bernardin with Remax Realty. And I want to get right into it. I'm going to bring in Doug and Amanda. Let's bring these guys in here.
Ooh.
How's it going? Good morning.
Hello.
You know, I love this music option. I want to just keep it on, but I think it's a little distracting. Here we go.
I was definitely getting down to it.
I know, like grooving. So, good morning, guys. Thanks for coming on and talking about this upcoming event. It's great. Doug and I were talking before we went live here. It's so great to be able to talk about events and know that you can go to them. And, you know, the only thing they might be canceled for probably is the weather. I mean, hopefully not, but it's nice to be able to get back out there. So thank you guys both for coming on. Amanda, I wanted to talk to you first. We have your website here, Cancer Support Community in Greater Lehigh Valley. Can you talk a little bit about what your organization is and does? And I'll kind of scroll through here as you do.
Of course. So we are a nonprofit here in the Lehigh Valley that serves anyone who's been affected by cancer. So whether you're a cancer patient currently in treatment or out of treatment and in survivorship, if you're a family member of someone who has been diagnosed with cancer, or a caregiver. And so we provide comprehensive services to those folks in the means of support groups. We also offer individual counseling. We do healthy lifestyle programs, so anything to help reduce stress in the body, anywhere from yoga to Tai Chi to meditation and mindfulness programs. And then we also, big thing, we want to make sure everyone, is up to speed and educated on their cancer and some of the things that happen to them during their diagnosis. So we do a lot of educational workshops, and then also too, just some fun social programs as well too, just to connect people who are going through the same kind of like similar situation.
Right.
Bring everyone together to share stories and connect resources and all that fun stuff.
I know we had talked in the past, and I'm very familiar with all the great work that you do. And you had mentioned to me how, someone can get a diagnosis and what do I do now? And that's part of what Cancer Support Community Greater Lehigh Valley is able to do, is give you those resources and let you know you're not alone. And which is very helpful. We
have, like you said, great medical treatment facilities here in the Lehigh Valley with St. Luke's and Lehigh Valley, provide top-notch treatment. And so we're kind of like on the other side, where we want to make sure that you are good mentally and physically to be able to, go through those treatments. And so we're here, so that no one has to go through this alone, and holding your hands as you go through it and making sure your body is healthy and, good to go.
Right. And I mean, you said it, one of those things is stress relief, which I hope that's where Doug comes into play, right?
Yes.
Doug McHizzle, comedian extraordinaire. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for reaching out and for coming on, and tell us a little bit about, tell us about yourself to begin. I mean, I know you're from Brooklyn originally, moved here a while back. Or did I get that wrong?
Oh man, a lot of people will be mad if I agree to that. Okay. I'd not be able to go back to New York. No, I started out in Yonkers, and then towards the middle school, my family moved up to Dobbs Ferry, which so Yonkers and Dobbs Ferry is where I'm from. But I mean, I know people in Brooklyn. Shout out to Brooklyn, but
that's good.
That's not wrong.
When did you originally when did you get into comedy? Was it, I think it was like, maybe I'll get this one right. You said it was like 15 years ago you started writing stuff with your friends, and it kind of went out from that.
Yeah, I had one or two friends that were doing stand-up that, they were starting it out. I'd go with them to open mics in New York and stuff like that. And I was always like, I always felt like at this point I was too old to start, because growing up in New York, I'd be writing. I used to write like in high school and stuff, write jokes. I was always really funny and stuff like that. But to actually go up on stage, I just never grew a pair to do it. And then I started writing for some friends, and one of my buddies in particular, I went to go see him at an open mic, and the joke that out of all the comedians, there was one joke that killed, I mean, tremendously, which, I mean, it's really hard to make an open mic crowd laugh because it's all comedians. Nobody says, hey, honey, you want to go to an open mic and watch these comedians try out their material? So it's just other comedians. And if you can make them laugh, then you got a good joke there. And the only joke that killed was the one I wrote for him. And I said, you know what? It's time I start doing this. So I started putting together sets, putting together like a 5-minute set. And then I went to the Brewworks back when they had the fishbowl, and I did 5 minutes, and from there it just took off. I started doing more open mics, and then was able to get on the Allentown Brewworks show, and it just went from there. And I just got immediately addicted to making. I've always liked making people laugh. I think that's so important in life. For any particular reason, you lose somebody, I always say, think about the time you saw them cracking up, and it always brings a smile to somebody's face. So it's always something I've wanted to do since a kid, and I finally 12 years ago jumped up on stage and did it. And I always say I'm a solid middle. I'm not as funny to be a headliner, but I think I'm better than most openers. So if you need a good host or a solid middle, you got your guy right here.
Yeah, that Brewworks Fishbowl, there are a lot of local comedians who continually, or either they're still doing comedian stuff or they're successful in the area. It's just interesting that a lot of them came out of that. Yeah. And during these, I mean, we're kind of getting out of some of the pandemic situations in some respects. It's been very difficult, I'm assuming, for both of you. Amanda, it has to be tough to be able to do events in person. I know that you did a lot of online types of things. How are you feeling now that, I mean, I know that everyone's still continuing to be as safe as they have to be and need to be, but how does it feel to be able to kind of do some events again?
It feels great, really, to be able to get back out there and bring awareness to our organization, and what we do for the community is, great. We usually attend a lot of like health fairs throughout the Lehigh Valley to bring awareness about our services. And, we had to be really creative the last 2 years. So I am super excited to be able now to be out in person and to be, again, just sharing the resources that we offer to cancer patients and their loved ones.
And Doug, in the same vein, I mean, I know you can kind of do comedy anywhere, but it wasn't the same on Zoom, right? I mean, how was that? We were talking a little bit again before we started about how Zoom was so important like a year and a half ago, and now it's people are getting ready to go back to those in-person events. How was that for you, that whole process, I guess?
Yeah, so that was tough. A comedian thrives off of the energy of the crowd. I mean, that's where you're building your jokes. That's where you're looking for that punchline. You're looking for that rush of laughter. And when you got like 10 people on a Zoom video and you're making them laugh, it's still not the same, because you still hear your voice echoing in the room rather than the crowd.
And somebody's not muted like every time.
Yeah, exactly. And people are, it's like watching a movie versus seeing a play. When you watch a movie, you're sitting in your house, you're relaxed on your couch. When you go to a play or a musical, you're engaged with the actor. You know what I mean? You feel their emotion and all that stuff, and that's what was tough as a comedian, trying to make people laugh over Zoom versus being on stage. You kind of control the crowd a little bit better on stage than you do on a Zoom call. So,
do you think you got any skills out of that, that are going to make you a better comedian? I don't know. Or was it all just,
yeah, it definitely made me write in a different way. Recently, I've started writing where I would tell a story a lot of times. My jokes were kind of a story that I was telling. And then it's made me refine, like what's the word I'm looking for? It made me like boil my jokes down to the essence.
Just distill them.
Yes, exactly. And
yes.
But it's also made me write where I used to write the joke and hope for the reaction from the crowd, where now I'm starting that backwards, where I'm like, I want this reaction. Let me write a joke to get that reaction. And it's really interesting how when you get that punchline, when I say the punchline and I get the reaction, it's really strange in my head, because I'm like, oh, I forgot that's what I was looking for. That's what I started this whole thing about. So it's like an extra punchline for myself in a way. It's really strange to think, but the
it's
social
like
media
jokeception.
yeah. And during the pandemic, social media became so big. You know, the Snapchats, the TikToks, all of that got so huge. So the crowd was already short-term memory. You know, very short attention span before the pandemic. To where these social media things that are 15 seconds and they're squeezing in like 5 things in 15 seconds, to where I used to write where it was like every 20 to 30 seconds I wanted to make them laugh, where now I'm like, I got to make this crowd laugh every 5 seconds. So it's caused me to, you know, change. I would say evolve into a better writer.
Yeah. I mean, it's and it's just interesting to see some of that, and all the different material that comedians have been working on to like during this time period, to see it in person now. And let's talk about the event. March 19th. How did you guys at the Hellertown Legion? I'll bring it up in a minute, but how did you get involved with each other? I love stories like this, because I think it was, you tell me.
So I can talk first. Doug's wife Lauren is on our board of directors. And, you know, I'm looking for ways to get our board more involved to become better ambassadors for our organization. So I reached out to Lauren, knowing that her husband was in comedy. And I reached out to her and said, hey, do you think your husband would want to do an event for us? And so she's like, yeah, sure, let me ask. And so she asked, and he was totally on board. So, you know, and, you know, some people go with the saying that laughter is the best medicine. And, you know, us cancer patients are always looking for, you know, good medicine and that kind of stuff to make us happy and feel good. So why not? And so Doug, you know, was right on top of it and, you know, wrangled up some troops, and here we are.
Yeah, and Doug, talk about that. I mean, for you, I know that this isn't your first rodeo. You've done other events and you've worked with other comedians, but was this one of your first events coming back out?
Oh yeah, well, so I've done a couple of shows. I've done the Marketplace over in downtown, and I did the Theater and hosted a show at Seven Sirens, but this was my first time producing in years. and I say producing, but I basically got the comedians. Amanda's done, I mean, a lot of the work. And but I mean, it's one of those things where you know, my wife asks me to do stuff all the time. And I mean, I'm talking like regular household stuff. And it ends up where she's finally like, are you going to do this or what? And that's what really happened. It was like one of those things where she would kind of, you know, every so often say, hey, so we're still looking to do that thing. And I'm, oh yeah, that's right. Where one day I was like, okay, yes, I gotta really get serious about this. And then that's when I, you know, contacted Amanda, and then we went from there. And yeah, it's been a couple of weeks. It's already in a couple of weeks we were able to get this all going. So
and we know some of these guys, like former host Tyler Rothrock, Chris Freed, of course, and Lamar. I guess it wasn't hard to get these guys together. I mean, that's a pretty good lineup.
No, so of course Tyler and Chris I always go to them first, because they always include me in stuff that, again, I'm a solid middle. I'm not somebody that's, but I like to think I bring a crowd. I know how to bring a crowd to a show. I can do pretty well at packing the house, but Lamar, I've worked with him a couple of times, but I never actually met him. Either he was doing a set after me, or I did one before him and he left. We never actually got to meet. And I did a show at the Ice House, the first comedy show that you guys had at the Ice House down for Music Fest. and I didn't get to meet him there, but like we're in a picture together, so it's kind of strange. I don't know this guy. And then I did the marketplace with him, and I swear I came home after that show, and I said to my wife, I said, if I ever produce a show again, he's definitely on it. He is just absolutely hilarious. So when Amanda said she needed comedians, I went to the first go-tos, and then I asked Tyler, I was like, can you get his number? Can somehow or another, can I get in contact with him? And this all happened in a day. These three guys, right off the jump, were just like, they were like, yeah, of course. And I was like, look, it's a fundraiser, so there's not going to be any pay. And as comedians do, they were just like, hey, just a couple of drinks and some food. I'm good with that. So
I'll tell you what, Lamar, I won't repeat it because I couldn't repeat it anyway, but he told one of the dirtiest jokes I've ever heard in my life at that show, and it still haunts me to this day. No, it's hilarious. But he, like, to this day, I remember that. I'm like, I don't believe it.
Yeah.
You could probably find it on his social media somewhere.
Yeah.
So, and Amanda, for you, like with cancer support community, you were saying you're looking to try new stuff. So is it something that you're open to? Hey, if there are other organizations that might want to include you on a benefit, is that something that they can do as well, and they can reach out to you?
Yeah, for sure. We would love to partner with, anyone here in the Lehigh Valley to benefit our programs and services. Because a big thing we at the cancer support community, like all the programs that we offer are offered at no cost. So when, a cancer patient or their loved ones come to take advantage of one of our programs or services, they don't have to pay anything to come and, get some help. We also have, like a wig salon where folks can come and get a free wig after they've lost their hair to treatment. So fundraisers like these are really important for us. And so we're glad to have, Doug and Tyler and, the other two comedians to, donate their time to help raise some money for us.
All right. Well, I want to, Doug, how can people find more about you? Do you have a website or anything, or is it kind of like?
I don't have a website. Again, I'm a comedian, so I'm very lazy.
I don't even plug you. What do I tell people to go?
I mean, it's the regular outlets these days. You can find me on Facebook, all of the social media, TikTok. I started trying to play around with that, and I'm getting a little silly with it. I mean, anywhere. And just, if anybody ever needs a comedian to do a show, I usually work for free or very little money. And
you can't say you work for free.
No. I say that. That's the bait. That's the bait.
Right.
And then I pester.
And then it's like it's two hoagies as well.
Free. Right. Yeah, two Wawa hoagies. But no, anything on Facebook, Doug McHizzle. It's a silly name that I started out with, and it seemed to have stuck. But yeah, you can find me on Instagram. I'm on there all the time. Facebook, and really, if you were to search any couch, I'm usually laying on one of those. So just your nearest couch, you could probably find me on watching the Jeffersons.
Or at the Hellertown American Legion on Saturday, March 19th at 8 p.m.
Yes, March 19th. That's going to be a big show. I can't wait.
I dropped the event link in there so everybody, if they have information. But can you say, like, is it tickets to the door? Can people just go to the door? Or do they have to buy them ahead of time?
Yeah, people can get them at the door, or click the link and purchase online. Or, like I said, we won't turn anyone away. We want to make sure that Doug and his friends are packing a full house. So
yeah, we're really excited. I already got a lot of people saying that they're coming, and my friend Vanessa's here. So shout out to Vanessa.
Thank you, Vanessa.
Vanessa's one of the people that we worked together for many years and become very close friends, and she was my first open mic actually. We worked nights together, her and another guy, Ed, and I would try out my jokes on them a lot. So, I'm glad she's in here listening. But so the show, we got a lot of people that are going to be coming. I've gotten people already. Everybody I talk to. My job, I just started at a company last week, and I asked them if there's a way that I can post it. and they said yes. So I'm going to try and get a lot of people from work going, and it's going to be a great show. There's going to be drinks served there. There's going to be food there. The Hellertown American Legion is very excited about the show. They're looking forward to hosting it, so they're going to put a lot of work into making sure everybody's comfortable, and it's going to be a very fun show. Couple hours of coming out and laughing and raising some money for a great cause. So let's everybody do it. Everybody come out. Let's pack the place.
Yeah. Hey, I'm excited. Just the fact that the events are back, and there's that. It feels like a palpable, vibe. That there's an excitement for people, to get back together and to get to events like this, and we need it. It's been a long time coming. So, again, I want to thank you guys so much for taking some time out this morning to talk to me about it. And again, I think your wife just commented, if you don't come, I will ask Doug to hunt you down in a couple of months when he's off the couch. That's good. There.
So now you know.
I don't know if you need any more of a. Yeah, I don't think you need any more persuasion than from Lauren. So hey, again, March 19th, all the links are in there. Doug and Amanda, thank you guys so much. Amanda, please continue all the great work that you guys do.
Thank you.
And we're looking forward to the comedy show. Yeah. So, all right, you guys stay on the line for a minute.
I really appreciate you doing this. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you, everybody, who watched. Thank you to our sponsors, Arts Quest, Molly's Irish Grill and Sports Pub, and, of course, Michael Bernardin with Remax Realty. We appreciate it. If you'd like to get in touch, just send us an email. It's info@LehighValleyWoodLoveMedia.com, and we'll talk to you next time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.